What if an object could hold the essence of evil itself? An old, terrifying spirit that is imprisoned and only waiting to break free and wreak havoc on anyone who dares to disturb it. One of the most infamous and horrifying paranormal relics in modern history, the Dybbuk Box, is at the center of this haunting mystery. The story begins with furniture maker Kevin Mannis discovering the box at an estate sale. With a shaky voice, the elderly woman who was selling it warned him not to open the box. But it was impossible to ignore the charm of its weathered, wooden exterior. As soon as Mannis brought the box home, the strange happenings began. His house was filled with a foul stench, lights flickered, and he became overwhelmed with dread. Desperate to find out, he discovered the box's sinister past, its previous owners, all troubled by bad luck and terrified by the same evil power. It seemed that the box was more than a relic. It was a vessel, jail for a vengeful Dybbuk, a wicked ghost that was simply waiting to escape. The Dybbuk Box is no ordinary artifact. It is the essence of fear itself, a cursed artifact that is discussed in whispers and whose very existence seems to be a gateway to misery. The core of the mystery is the idea of a Dybbuk, a wicked spirit from Jewish tradition that has plagued the courageous and curious for centuries. A Dybbuk is said to be the aggressive soul of a deceased person, a spirit so evil that it tries to attach itself to the living and ruin them from the inside out. The Dybbuk does more than just haunt. It possesses, turning its victim's body and mind into a puppet of misery. An ancient wooden box, which was never meant to be opened, is claimed to have served as this evil entity's vessel. It is thought that the Dybbuk is imprisoned inside the box, sealed shut by an unknown force, waiting for an opportunity to escape. The box itself is more than just an object, with its cracked, aged exterior and gloomy vibe. It is a prison, a cage that contains something so sinister and demonic that it has the power to turn anyone's life into a nightmare. The misery that would follow was not known to Kevin Mannis, a seemingly normal furniture maker, when he first saw the Dybbuk Box at an estate sale. The elderly woman who sold him the box warned him in no unclear terms. "This box is cursed and it must never be opened," said quietly. The words would soon turn out to be predictions. But the mystery of the box enthralled Mannis, as it had so many others before him. The unease that surrounded it was evident, even though the tale behind it seemed unreal. He may not have believed, but he was curious about the strange past it contained, so he brought the box home. It was not long before the first unsettling signs appeared. It was minor at first, a creak of floorboards here, a flicker of lights there, but things quickly turned into something much darker. No amount of cleaning or fresh air could get rid of the strong, unpleasant smell that Mannis started to notice in his house. The box itself seemed to be the source of the odor, as if it contained the rotting remains of something ancient and evil. He felt as though the walls of his house were closing in on him, and the air around him became thicker. Strange sounds, scratching sounds that echoed from the walls, the floors, and even the box itself would creak through the house at night. The impact on Mannis intensified over the next few days. The nightmares that haunted his sleep were so intense and frightening that they made it difficult to tell the difference between the real world and the dream world. He had a deep, gnawing fear that was impossible to overcome by rationality. It seemed as if the Dybbuk had already entered his head, twisting his feelings and ideas and getting him ready for something much worse. Mannis began to uncover more about the box's terrible background and the gruesome stories of its previous owners as he looked for answers. The aura of dread surrounding the Dybbuk Box grew with each new story he discovered. The box was repeatedly handed from one owner to another, with disastrous consequences for each. Before Mannis, a string of owners had suffered the same horrifying experiences. Nightmares that drained their strength, mysterious wounds that left them with no explanation, and a heavy feeling of dread that lingered long after the box had been gone. Some even reported feeling as though an unseen force was crushing down on them, as though the box itself was trying to draw them into its shadows. When the pattern became evident, Mannis discovered that everyone who had previously held the box had been forced to either sell it or give it away out of desperation. Each of them appeared to have a strange desire to pass the box on, to get rid of it before it completely ruined them. Their actions seemed inevitable, as if they were aware that continuing to hold the box would come at a cost they couldn't afford. The question arose, was the Dybbuk box cursed, or was there something more sinister at play? Did the evil in the box really indicate a Dybbuk, a spirit so vile that it could destroy everything in its way? Or was it an echo of the gloom within those who sought it, each owner leaving a part of their soul behind with the box, making the evil inside even more powerful? The Dybbuk box, which had previously been hidden by a dusty estate sale, suddenly became well known in 2004. Kevin Mannis made the disastrous decision to post the box on eBay because he was desperate to get rid of the cursed item that had made his life a living nightmare. What then followed was a wave of fascination, horror, and curiosity that no one could have expected. The auction itself was as odd as the story surrounding the box. Mannis explained its terrifying history in full length, describing the disturbing events that had plagued him since bringing the box into his home. Potential buyers were warned that the listing was not for the faint of heart and described an evil spirit, a Dybbuk, trapped within the box. It was not just an antique, it was a vessel of evil. The online community was rocked by the listing. People were drawn to it because the box's bizarre and terrifying story aroused their interest. Feared and fascinated, some started to take the warnings seriously, while others brushed them off as a prank. It felt both unreal and all too real to think of a cursed thing that may bring sorrow, nightmares, and physical harm. The idea of a physical object holding a mysterious force of darkness, a presence that might penetrate the air itself and affect the lives of anyone who dared to come into contact with it, was obviously terrifying. Every day that went by, the tension increased as the box transformed from an ordinary fascination to something more, something that required attention. The news quickly made its way outside of eBay and into the public domain. The tale was picked up by media outlets, which are always eager to highlight the unusual and unexplained. The Dybbuk box had grown into a sensation and was no longer merely a listing on an online marketplace. Its place in the expanding folklore of haunted objects became even stronger when media outlets and paranormal websites speculated about its origins and the curse it was said to carry. The box, now a symbol of evil power, was no longer just an object, it was a legend. Paranormal investigators were drawn to the story as they were captivated by the box's mystery. Zach Bagans, the host of the popular television program Ghost Adventures, was one of them. Given his reputation for aggressively investigating haunted places and artifacts, Bagans viewed the Dybbuk box as an opportunity to investigate something genuinely evil. He and his team proceeded to study the box in the hopes of discovering its secrets and possibly facing the terrible spirit it was said to hold. The mystery surrounding the box was only increased by their investigation, which also brought it into the public eye and guaranteed that it would always have a connection with the paranormal. The box's reputation only increased as it attracted more and more attention. It turned into a representation of the unknown, a material thing that appeared to have the capacity to intimidate, torture, and disturb. The Dybbuk box had evolved from a fascinating artifact to the core of paranormal legend, its tale growing more strange and horrifying every day. The box would continue to haunt the public's imagination for years to come, and the public's fascination with it had only just begun. Zach Bagans and his team from Ghost Adventures ventured into the mystery of the Dybbuk Box, drawn by the chilling legend that surrounded it. Their research led them to the house where the box had been stored, where there seemed to be a lot of discomfort in the air, as though the walls themselves were whispering about its troubled past. The team, which was renowned for its daring exploration of the unknown, soon encountered disturbing experiences. Strange happenings were caught on camera, moments that made everyone in the room uncomfortable. Lights flickered without explanation, mysterious sounds echoed through the house, and at one point a member of the team even experienced a bodily response, feeling as though an unseen force was pushing against them. Without a doubt, there was evidence, something that defied reason and explanation. Yet the question still stands. What exactly is the source of the Dybbuk Box's evil reputation? According to some scholars, the box's power might be psychological, stemming from the power of imagination and the widespread belief in its curse. They believe that dread could be projected into reality by the mind, making the haunting seem genuine even though it isn't. Others, however, consider the likelihood that something more sinister is involved. As legend says, could the Dybbuk Box indeed hold an evil spirit, a Dybbuk? Or maybe it contains something unimaginable to humans, a creature bound to the bad energy that has settled there over many years. One thing is certain, despite the wide range of scary theories, the Dybbuk Box is not an ordinary item. It is a mystery, a riddle that still confuses and terrifies people. The Dybbuk Box is still a mystery that has been woven into the fabric of paranormal legend. Even though it is hidden away, its history continues as a representation of mystery and terror that never goes away. Whether cursed or just an expression of human fear, it never fails to fascinate, leaving a haunting impression on anybody who dares to face its terrifying mythology. That was all for today. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the Suspense Room to unlock more stories.